You're listening to Rise Above, a Rogers Behavioral Health podcast, where we sit down with Rogers experts who are changing the way the world views mental health and addiction. Today's episode of Rise Above, I wanted to talk about a topic that has been coming up a lot, and it's an important one, and that is mental health struggles when it comes to veterans and first responders. Obviously, in those jobs, in those careers, you face difficult challenges, challenges that I know in my life I don't face, for lack of a better way to put it. You go through things that, a lot of people maybe don't relate to outside of those careers. So it's nice to provide a space for them where they can share in a comfortable setting with people that can relate to them. With that being said, I have with me Chris Swift. He's a peer support specialist at Rogers Behavioral Health, and he's working on a program there. It's a newer program. It's called Firewatch. And what Firewatch is, from my understanding, it is exclusively for veterans and first responders, and it does just what I was talking about. It helps them deal with their mental health struggles. And Chris, he is a veteran himself, and I'm pretty sure nearly everyone working in the Firewatch program is also a veteran. So it makes it easier for veterans and first responders when they come in. It makes them easier to relate to the people that they're working with. So Chris, as I said, he's a veteran. I know he's faced his own challenges, but that also helps him relate to the people coming in. And I guess I'll just get right to it. Let's talk to him about it. Chris Swift, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, Andrew.
So let's talk about your background, how you came to work at Rogers, and how you came into this role.
25 years ago, I joined the military as a medic. Did my time active duty for about 12 years. Did some deployments to Iraq, Afghanistan. Absolutely loved the job. Had a daughter. Came home. Went in the reserves. Did some more stuff in the reserves. And then when I got out, I was trying to look for something that was going to be something that I really enjoyed and I had a passion for. So I eventually became a peer support specialist, and I started out with a program at the Medical College of Wisconsin with suicide awareness, education, and prevention. And then I moved on to outpatient mental health at the VA. And then while I was there, one of my mentors, him and a buddy of mine who is also a peer support specialist, said, "Hey, we got this. There's this program going on. You might really enjoy it." So I applied. I eventually got the job. I got to talk to Dr. Hofong and Greg Wisniewski, who are like my two bosses, and I kind of talked to on a regular basis. And then once they kind of gave me the rundown on what this program was, it was starting a program from scratch. And I was like, wow, that's gonna be great. We can build this up into something, and I can be part of something that's just outstanding, and hope to get this out to other Rogers facilities.
And we're talking about the program Firewatch, right?
That is correct.
So give me the basic rundown. What is Firewatch?
Firewatch. So Rogers has a lot of experience with all the programs in the civilian world, mental health, any of the substance abuses. Substance abuse is very common amongst veterans. So they wanted to have a program that was laid out at Rogers that was basically veteran centric. If you're a veteran, you're eligible, and even some of the first responders, because they go through a lot of the same traumas that we have dealt with.
And first a lot responders, of time, you mean like
firemen, police officers,
okay,
nurses, paramedics, EMTs, people who deal with trauma on a regular basis, and then, once you see it for a long time, it starts having that effect on you. You can't see that stuff and be like, oh yeah, that's cool. It has some negative effects of you over the long term. And with this program, we're just trying to get it out there because, for veterans, sometimes going to the VA is a little intimidating. So having an opportunity to do something like Firewatch is hopefully going to be beneficial for a lot of veterans. They don't want to go to the big facility. They want to do a telehealth. We have all the different, we've got the psychologists, we've got the therapist, we've got the social workers, we've got the nurse, we've got the veteran peer support, we've got veterans among the crew.
Right. And I was going to ask then, so your role as a peer support specialist, what does that mean essentially?
So I get a little credibility because I was a medic. So during my time, guys would come to me with a lot of issues, not just the stuff that was going on, but like, hey doc, I was their therapist, I was their medic, their doctor, their confidant. So I played a lot of roles as a medic, and having that opportunity to be around them was a great experience for me, but it also showed me things that I became passionate for, taking care of other veterans, because my transition was not the best. And I want guys to follow a path that's not like mine, where I got into a lot of trouble. I had substance abuse and I just refused to get help with it. And then I didn't want to go to therapy. I didn't want to do that because I thought, oh, I was invincible. I came back from Iraq. I came back from Afghanistan. If they can't kill me, no, nothing can.
Sure.
And then with that, you just develop maladaptive behaviors, and through that, bad things happen. And then my eyes had to open, so then I had to get therapy. So since 2019, I've been getting regular therapy. So that's helped me. And then I hope to take what I have learned and what I have experienced and be able to pass it on to others so they can have a more successful transition and then a better outcome earlier.
So just to clear it up, the peer specialist, you're kind of the first person that someone might talk to, right? If they have apprehensions.
So they'll talk to the group, and if they don't feel comfortable, they'll use me as kind of like the icebreaker. Like, hey, we've got a group. We can, here's my story. Let me tell you about how I went through the therapy process. And these are the things I went through. So to skip the bad stuff, let's, if you only want to think about it for a while, like, here's how you can contact me. We can set up a time where we can talk. We can talk on the computer. We can talk on the phone. We can talk at a coffee shop, wherever.
You're almost the living proof that treatment works.
Yeah. I mean, it's like without treatment, I would be in a world of hurt right now. Yeah. I would not be sober, for one, without therapy, and without, I try to surround myself with other veterans. It's one of those things. It's just to give people, sometimes it's a little more insight, and sometimes it's like, if bad stuff happens, you can recover. No matter what, you can always recover.
So I'm sure when you're talking to fellow veterans, it might be easy to build trust, but how do you go about building the trust with them?
One of the big things is with veterans, just they want somebody to listen to them, like actually listen. So you have active listening. You listen to what they say, you repeat back, so you guys know what you're on the same page. Not everybody, there's never really, with mental health, there's not really a cookie cutter plan. It's not like if somebody says, oh, I'm having bad dreams, it's like, oh, take 2 of these, you'll feel better in the morning. It's not like that. It's like it's a different process for everybody. So we just want to give options, listen to them, make them feel comfortable, because the more comfortable they are, the more they're going to share with us. And the more that they share with us, the more information we have, the better results we can get by giving them a plan to help them out.
And you kind of touched on it, but I think when I hear about this, like the VA's got programs for this stuff. How does a program like Firewatch add to the services that are available for veterans and first responders already?
I mean, I'm not saying that the VA doesn't have people that are very passionate about it. We got a program for those that just might not feel comfortable going to the VA. They might want to go to somewhere else that just, it's a little ways away from everything. They can kind of feel a little more comfortable, have a little more one-on-one care. The VA's got a ton of things. I'm not trying to say they don't have any good programs, but when you have options, it's great when people can go out and do different things. And we have a lot of people that are passionate. Dr. Hofung has started this. Dr. Hofung is a veteran herself, and she started this program with the whole option of trying to give people different ways to get help. It doesn't always have to be through the VA. It can be through other veterans. It can be through church. It can be through sports for some people, whatever it may be. But at Rogers, we now have a program that will get you on the right track and help you move to your way of feeling better.
So how has your time in the military helped you relate to other veterans and how you approach them?
So when I got into active duty, my first duty station was Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. So like the middle of the United States, and then there's not much around it. So it gave me an opportunity to teach others and help them become better medics. And I got to learn from them because their process of learning and stuff. So that ability as a medic to just help people not only get better, but also help them become better providers. So when they went on further, they were able to make a difference. And the way that those guys have helped me out and helped shape me makes me want to help others, that they can look back and go, you know what? I'm glad I crossed paths with Chris because he helped me out immensely. He helped me understand his struggles, and where he is now is like ultimately where I want to be, or even further. Like there's nothing to stop you. I just love this position with having the opportunity to do outreach and to help veterans. Like that's all I want to do, so the mentors that I have had have given me so much. I want to be able to give that to others. I want them to see that there are good things in life. I want them to see that even though bad things happen, you can recover. You can be a phoenix. You can start up, you can burn to the ashes, and you can rise from the ashes. Everybody has a path. I just want to make sure guys kind of don't follow my whole path, just certain things, certain aspects of it. And if I can help them out in any ways, just, let me know. I'm always available.
Well, and I think a big part of your position is also breaking down stigma too, especially with the veteran population. So how do you go about, how do you approach stigma when it comes to people maybe that are hesitant to seek out help?
Just let them know that taking that first step is always the toughest. Once you get into therapy, and sometimes while you're in therapy, it's tough too, because you have to be vulnerable with people. So you have to learn vulnerability. Vulnerability is one of those things that, like you said, the stigma, it is hard for some, there's some guys that were in like some special ops units that did some out of this world stuff. And they're just like amazing. They're like at the top of the food chain when it comes to warriors that were in the military. And it's like, you just let them know that, hey, I'm here to listen. Just the more you let it out, it's kind of like anything else. So like if you get a wound on you and it starts festering and it starts getting infected, it starts hurting, it gets bigger and bigger until it explodes. And usually when it explodes, nothing good comes of it. And that's what happens with people. They have enough, they get all this stuff, they compartmentalize it, and then eventually it just becomes too much and it explodes. We don't want it to explode. We want to kind of let it out and make them understand that, hey, everybody has issues. You're not the only one that's going through struggles. A lot of people are struggling. Everybody has things that are going on. So just, we're here. We have this opportunity for you to come and join this program or just talk to one of us just to kind of help release some of that struggle.
And we will be right back. Real quick, I wanted to take a moment to talk to you about WISE, the Initiative for Stigma Elimination. It unites people across the nation to support those touched by mental illness and addiction. The compassionate approach champions personal stories and powerful connections, fostering healing by reducing stigma through evidence-based practices. Rogers Behavioral Health supports the work of WISE through their Community Learning and Engagement Department. WISE collaborates with a diverse network of organizations and individuals united in the fight against stigma. You can learn more about WISE, explore their 4 key programs, and connect with them by visiting the website www.eliminatestigma.org. And now back to the interview. All right, Chris, I'm going to guess that the work is probably rewarding.
Oh my God, it's amazing because in my life, I have never seen a group of people that have rooted for each other more than veterans. Like veterans, when they walk down the street and they go, that's a veteran, I want them to succeed. I want them to do great things because for a long time there was a stigma on veterans like, oh, they're just too dumb to go to college, they couldn't do this. Some of the smartest people I have encountered in my entire life have been in the military, you know. And with the veterans being a close, cohesive group, some of our best friends, like they become family. And it's like you never forget that. Like birthdays, hey, happy birthday, brother, happy birthday, sister. However it may be, people go. We have reunions. When we're traveling, oh, I'm going through this way, I can go see so and so.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
it's just the opportunities of seeing each other. It sucks that when we first started deploying, and then we'd go out and it would be like we'd all get together for weddings, and then we started getting together for funerals, and that's kind of you don't death is one of those things that happens, but you don't want that to be the only reason you guys get together.
Yeah.
And that's kind of difficult. So we try to find other ways to, we have things on websites like Facebook. We're groups we can talk and get together. Just trying to keep in contact with those people that you meet, because the people you meet in the military are going to be your family,
Sure.
because that's all you have for however long,
You guys all go through the same stuff together.
Yeah. And then when, like, I'm a medic, so I still have some guys call me up with stuff, and I'm like, all right, it's great that they have that they trust me enough to call me up for that.
Yeah.
When they're having a bad time. All my guys, they all know my story, and they're like, hey man, what made you go? What worked for you? And it's not, like I said before, it's not a cookie cutter. There's no exact plan that works for everybody. Everybody's got a different plan, but if you can take a little from here, a little from there, a little from there, you can come up with your own plan. But if you have people there that are there to support you and people that you trust, that's a huge thing,
So we're kind of retreading a little bit from earlier, but I want to go back to Firewatch. What's your elevator pitch for Firewatch? What about this program is special for veterans? I don't want to say like how does it work exactly, but how does it work?
Okay, so it's a veteran-based program that allows veterans to come in, be in a veteran-centric environment with other veterans and veterans that are practitioners to help out to go through the process of healing. And it is away from the VA, which a lot of people are intimidated by, or they just don't want to go to the VA for whatever reason it may be. We've got another place for you to come, and we want you to be there. We're welcoming you with open arms.
And not just veterans, right?
Yeah, it's first responders as well. But we have this program, so like the veterans that are at the VA, they don't want to go there. You know what? Here's another option. There's options out there. It's like no matter what you do, we'll do what we can to help you out. And if we can't help you out, we'll find something that will. We'll get you in the right direction. We do outreach programs. There's a lot of programs in Wisconsin. Wisconsin's one of the top veteran-heavy programs in the country. So being in Wisconsin is great, not just because it's a great place to live. The weather could be better at some times, but there's a lot of good in Wisconsin. So,
well, is there anything else you wanted to share about maybe your role or just mental health in general?
No matter what, get some help. It doesn't matter who you talk to. You can talk to your pastor. You can talk to the librarian, or you can talk to the bookstore employee. You can talk to whatever's going to make you feel better, whatever is going to get you from feeling how you are to better. That's the thing. Like, we welcome with open arms, and we're not expecting people to just go running to Rogers, it's the only way. It's not. This is just another opportunity. This is another place that people can go and get help. But just please get some help, you know. It'll help you out in the long run. It'll help your family because we don't really understand what we do to our families when they see us just self-destructing. You know, that has a huge, like when you asked about families, like that has a huge effect on them. And, you know, like my parents, when I was deployed between Iraq and Afghanistan, I probably aged them 25 years, you know.
Yeah.
So we just want to know, we want people to know that there's the program out there and that we are here to help. That first and foremost, that's what we're here for, to help. Everything else is irrelevant. You know, we are here for helping, you know. That's what we want to do. That's what the program is here for. It gives you another space to be.
Right.
And it's on a beautiful campus, so like you could go visit Rogers. I mean, it's beautiful there.
It is beautiful. Well, Chris, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your service, and I appreciate it all. All right, take care.
Thank you so much. You too.
So there you have it. That was Chris Swift, a peer support specialist at Rogers Behavioral Health. He works on the Firewatch program, which, as he said, is committed to providing veterans and service members and first responders with the high quality care that they deserve. So thanks for listening to Rise Above, a podcast from Rogers Behavioral Health. Be sure to like and subscribe to be notified of new episodes. And as always, if you or someone you care about is struggling with a mental health or substance use disorder, visit rogersbh.org for a free mental health screening. Thanks a lot for listening. Until next time, this is Andy Meadow at Rogers Behavioral Health.